Welcome back to another video. Today it's pretty simple. All I'm doing is I've got the four-wheeler and I've got some corn, so I'm gonna go take some corn up to the feeder and the food plot at my house, and then I'm gonna go down the road to the 10 acres we got and take some corn up to my dad's blind. And it is January 5th of 2024. It's weird to say. Dump some corn out and just kind of look around and start kind of planning things for next season, since it's basically the end. We've got a month. Feeder's going off right now if you can hear it. So corn's spread out around the feeder, and I actually just shot a doe here a week ago today, last Friday. So after season, I'd like to cut all these trees out of here, get the stumps out. Maybe kind of expand this over here out this way a little bit. So my plan is to then bring this plot out here. I want to take the skid steer and just plow through here and then open all of this up here and basically just add it to this. I think that would make this food plot so much better. And what I was thinking about was going up into here and then kind of leaving it brushed in to where you can't see the other side of the plot, and putting a blind, an elevated blind up in here somewhere between the two sections of the plot. So this would end up being a pinch point. That way they can walk through that pinch point, give more of a shot opportunity, because I'd really like to get rid of that feeder. Maybe throw in a mock scrape somewhere, but I'd also really like to open up some roads into here, give them something easier to walk through. Maybe a water hole, I don't know. Just got a lot to brainstorm on, but it's like 3:20. I want to head down to the cabin and get that done real quick so I'm not disturbing too much. Dropped one. So this is my dad's blind that he had built, and really for the first year of it being here, it's done pretty good actually. The only issue with this is some of the bigger deer were a little more skeptical coming in here daylight, just because of the fact of we cleared out a lot to get the skid steer and excavator up here to get this ginormous thing up here. So hopefully this summer, all this can grow back up, get thick around the blind, so it doesn't just look like a sore thumb sticking up here. I'm gonna go back down the hill and pull some trail cam cards, take a look at the big food plot, big clover plot, and that should be it. All right, we're up at the big clover plot, and it looks as if the last of the leaves have fell off the trees up here. This February, so at the end of next month, I'm going to frost seed some more clover into this, because this is a lot of clover, but it's also a lot of winter rye too. So I'm going to frost seed some clover, so when it starts to green up in the spring, stuff starts coming up, clover kind of takes over, and it's a majority of clover. But so this is a pretty big plot, and my plan for next year is, when I have to mow this the first time, I'm gonna leave about a mower deck width all the way around this, not mowed, just to kind of grow up and brush this in even more than what I did with all the trees I cut out of here, because I just want this to be super secure and super just kind of isolated off of everything else. And the logging road coming up here, all of this, the road I ride the four-wheeler up on, I would really like to grow up. And as you can see, there's my Millennium buck hut. But this food plot is just, it's on a shelf. You see hill gums up here, we're on a flat, and then it drops back down into the creek. There's a camera down here in the creek that we're gonna go get, and then one up on the ridge way over there by the power line, and another one over here. So here is the cabin you can see from the food plot. Right there is my lawn. Food plot's up there. This is the creek bottom here. Lots of rut activity down in here. And up on this other ridge, on the other side of the cabin, it bends around and there's a power line clear cut on the other end of that. But during rut, the deer are crossing down through here, and they're coming down into the creek, and they're just running up and down this like crazy and back and forth across. So there's a scrape right here. I did not make it. It's not a mock scrape, it's just a natural one. But I set a camera on this, and we are down in the bottom here. The food plot's up here on that ridge, and then the four-wheeler's up here. So we're just down in this bottom, and it's really thick down here, and the deer just run up and down this. And for some reason, they love it down here. What I'm wanting to do is the Millennium Buck Hut, the tower blinds over here. I'm wanting to kind of put some sort of stand with a pop-up blind over in this corner, so during the rut I can hunt this area, because there's not really a great tree to put a stand in that's a decent shot. Like, there's some, I don't know, all these are too close. You're right in the middle of everything. I don't really like any of these. Now, just to give you a reference where this area is, cabin's here. We were just down here in the creek. Now we're over here by the truck. I keep showing you where the cabin is just to give you more of an idea of how the property's set up. The cabin is dead smack in the middle of the property. But most of the daylight bucks I've ever had on this property are coming from this side of the property. Why? I really don't know, but it's really thick, and we don't do a lot over on this side. Most of the hunting we do is over on the side with the food plot. So this side's pretty unbothered, and it's about a 6-acre area we just haven't really touched. So I do have a tree stand over here, and I'm really wanting to figure something out on how I can hunt this side of the property. And that's the whole reason for these cameras, so I know what's coming through here from what direction, and basically how I'm going to set up to hunt these deer. This little path I'm walking on is almost like a miniature shelf. It's up the hill a little bit, and it's a flat path they always walk on. But the stand right here, but the reason I positioned it there is because that is a small food plot that I planted, and I actually have a video of planting that food plot, but I've decided to no longer do that one. I want to let that grow up. But I put that stand there so I could hunt this lower path here, and the opening, that smaller food plot up there, and I'll show you in a second. So we keep following this path up, and it wraps around over into this opening I made. So now we're to the top of this path, and it is just flat as can be, almost from here throughout, and then it starts going back up again. This shelf here, I have had so many daylight pictures of when I first got this property, of deer just cruising this ledge, this shelf. So my plan was, let's put a little food plot here to maybe attract them to this area, and we'll get them to stop. Well, this food plot doesn't do very well, but the deer were in there like crazy last year. Tried to plant turnips this year. I don't think they got enough sunlight. They didn't do well. And I kind of just got the idea to, let's leave this area alone, let it grow back up, maybe put a watering hole and a mock scrape there, and just set a camera on it and see what we can get out of here. So right there's the tree stand, and we're down in this area now, as you can see. I've got a camera on this tree, and you can see this just wraps around, and the cabin's down on the bottom side of this hill. So the cabin's there, and then actually you can see the big food plot way over there. So here's just a 360 of this area. We're really thick up in here. Tree stand over here, which is really thick, nice shelf. And then this path, and then we come in from that side of the plot, and if we come back down around, I've got a straight path going back down to the path we started on that wrapped us around up here. I mean, I think this next season should be really, really great, and also going to be doing more hunting in West Virginia next year. So, and I plan on adding another setup down there, having 2 setups there. So I'm going to let you all in on all that, and I am really excited for this upcoming year with hunting, property management, videos, everything. But I'm excited to go check these cars. We're gonna get the four-wheeler loaded up, get out of here. So I'm looking at the pictures now. I've gone through all of them. There roughly 1,300 pictures between the 4 cameras. There should be some pretty decent deer next year. Muzzle loaders this weekend in Ohio, January 6th, 7th, and 8th. So I'm hoping most of these deer, especially this one I'm about to show you, make it through. So this buck right here, this was down in the creek, and this is the scrape that I was showing, and this deer actually came in following this doe. And after this picture, the path I was talking about, there's a bobcat actually. But that will be a super nice deer if he makes it through the year. This here is the smaller food plot we were up in that I was talking about maybe not making a food plot next year and just maybe putting a mock scrape at. But there are does using this every day. I mean, all the time. And some pictures of some smaller bucks up in here. That might be one there. Not sure. Yeah. So like there's some smaller bucks using this pretty often. There's just all kinds of deer up in there. And now here's that same 9-point at nighttime. This is that scrape that he was just daylight at that I was just showing you. And that was him in that small food plot up there. And he's just all over the place. But so the 9-point's really the only great thing I've got to show you. There's a bunch of pictures of does and some small bucks, but that's the best one I've got a picture of throughout that kind of roll there. End of season, they're pressured and all that, you know, but I'm really excited to make some changes this year, and hopefully we can get a lot of videos out. Hopefully I still got a couple videos coming this season still with some does. Slock some more, do some more doe management, but that's all I've got for this video. Thanks for listening to me yap. We'll see you next time.